Tonight, the March for Our Lives. Tens of thousands of people marching for something. Surely it's not about guns. Also, the Austin bomber finally caught and then he killed himself, which will relieve a lot of people, but also, did it relieve people? Let's see if they make it about guns. And finally, Joe Biden versus Trump, I just always want to talk about no matter what. But YouTube, Dick's, Citigroup have been added to a list of companies that do not like guns being sold. Let's see if they make it about guns. Tonight on Content Pending. Welcome to Content Pending. I'm Travis.
Hey, I'm Dylan.
This is a podcast that takes place at Don's Depot in Austin, Texas. One of the greatest bars and one of the greatest cities.
That's right.
In the world.
And we didn't get blowed up.
Especially because this, I guess technically we can't use the North Korean joke anymore because that's way too far preface from older shows. We'd like to hang out. We'd like to talk about the things that have happened over the week.
That's right.
Usually like to have some drinks while we're doing it. And sometimes we talk to interesting people. This week is just going to be Dylan and myself as we talk about the things that have happened this week. Because it's been a fucking real doozy.
It has.
Like at the top of the show, of course, to talk about, that's like only four things. We have the budget that passed, the secret things in the budget that passed, and the secret thing in one of the secret things in the budget that passed, the Cloud Act, if you're not familiar with it.
You're talking about that. You told me about that yesterday.
Yes.
We need to get that on the air. Someone needs to listen to that.
So important, and it's also too late. But hey, it's good to talk about these things.
Yay.
But until then, what's been up with you, buddy?
Hey, just recovering from South by. We did our thing last week. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So again, shout out to all those who participated.
Yep.
Shout out to Don's for letting us do it.
Yep.
And to my surprise, we've basically been asked to do it again by Don's.
Don did, actually?
Well, not Don personally.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Tammy,
yeah.
So Don's.
Yeah. The one with the keys, yeah.
But yeah, effectively, Tammy and Baby's like, we had a lot of fun, made a little bit of money. You guys want to do it again?
That's
okay.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
So, yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for that because we definitely want to do it again because we want to get some technical kinks knocked out
Someday we'll get the audio to work.
Someday we'll get the audio to work correctly.
For people who do podcasts for, all this time, couldn't get audio to work.
It's just
2 years in a row.
Adding electricity to it. That's the hardest part, we haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, so just been taking the week to calm down from
kind of wind down, go through all the footage, all the pictures.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of good pictures to share. We'll put that up on our website and Facebooks and all that stuff.
Sure, Don's of course too.
Yeah.
Because we had so many comedians, and if you don't know the event that we were talking about last week for South by on the 17th. Oh, I thank you, Billy. We decided to put on our second comedy showcase.
Yeah.
And,
Day drinking with friends.
DJ Yoshi Fuerte from 1 to 2. Putting out the things, and then acting like our own little Ed McMahon, doing the stingers because that's my favorite thing is like getting Josh, DJ Yoshi Fuerte, to do the stingers for the comedians that are walking up.
Yeah.
Someday it'd be really fun to actually ask the comedians what they want their music to be,
like their WWE.
Exactly, yeah.
Walking in.
Yeah. For some of them, I would like to just throw it away, or like for Avery Moore, for example, one of our favorite comedians here in Austin. I'd love to have like that Steve Austin like classic crash sound, so it's fucking serious. And here's Avery Moore with a steel chair. I'd like to do that because I think it'd be fun, but at the very least we have that. And then so he's sitting back, and we had originally 8 comedians, and I guess it went up to 11 comedians.
Yeah, we had 3 surprise people from Boston,
all the way from Boston. Last minute,
nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And apparently, really last minute, I guess they reached out to Superhost Nathan Ehrman,
the best host,
and he just said, "Yeah, I want to put you in the bill."
Yeah,
so boom,
he sure did.
Yeah.
And we'll most likely we'll do this again for South by, but we definitely want to try to do it one more time this year, and we'll reach out to you guys as it happens. I already told you about this. This only bears repeating so people know how wealthy I am. That I did sign up for my Tesla today. And by wealthy, of course, I mean not. And I'm so nervous about it because I've been excited for 2 years. I sat in that line in 2016, March 2016.
Yeah, you put down your deposit. You actually stood in line.
Stood in an actual physical line, like I was looking for an iPhone. Or something. But I mean, technically, it's just a really large phone. And battery backup, as I've been calling it, because it's the largest battery that will charge my phone. But God, just like adding extra things to new cars is frightening.
Yeah. So you put in your reserve spot 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years
But
ago,
you
and they
just
finally
got your thing today.
got my thing today, and I didn't really know what to do with it as much. I kept looking at it like it was going to answer questions that I didn't ask it yet. Just looking at the page, and I'm like, all I have to do is hit this button, and I'm like looking at how much it's going to cost. Like Louis C.K. actually had a joke the first time he made like his first $1 million.
Are we allowed to use his name anymore?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure with the whole.
he's
Me
dead,
Too
right?
thing.
Yeah.
He's dead to most people.
Yeah. But yeah, he did the same thing where he like looked at the numbers and just hoped that the zeros would just like tell him what to do. Like there's so many of them, surely one of them has an answer. But that's a thing. So I'll get that in 3 to 6 weeks and probably just sell it immediately at loss. There was a guy, I did see some person who received the Tesla 3 and just for shits and giggles went to CarMax to see how much CarMax, like literally got it, picked it up from the Tesla dump dealership, but from the maintenance area or whatever, and drove it straight to CarMax, which had like maybe 30 miles on it. And they offered him for a $60,000 car, $42,000. Which I get it, but technically it never drove off a lot, because there was no lot in the first place. Because, thank you laws, thank you car dealership unions or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those days or one of these days we'll see that break, but whatever.
Not in Texas.
Not in Texas.
Not anytime soon.
No. I don't even remember why the reason. I mean, wasn't it like some kind of protection for consumers?
Oh, the reason those things exist?
Yeah.
I think that may have been the underpinnings of why they started forming all those rules. But then it became just a monopoly of car dealerships who basically have hell, even in Austin we have like 13 dealerships owned by like one guy or something crazy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So multiply that by every other place in Texas.
Yeah.
You end up with like 50 people who own all the car dealerships.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, we have effectively a monopoly, so we don't
Right.
want you to come in with new brands.
Why do we want competition? Right.
Yeah. And I guess that when that all was going on, they're like, yeah, if you want to sell out our lots, sure, but we're going to get this, and this, and this. And of course, Tesla's like, that's not how we want to sell cars. So.
No, that's not the way cars. Well, I mean, there is a benefit, of course, to actually seeing the car before you purchase it. I know that right now. I'm freaking out about it because I don't know if the Tesla dealership or the Tesla showroom. And at the Domain actually has one or not. I know the one in Houston does. Is it worth driving to Houston to see if I want the car that I'm going to buy blind? Probably. If you don't know anything about the Tesla 3, go check it out because it is nice and it is cheaper than the rest of their models, and it should be quite a beast. But it is also very strange because the front glass goes all the way to the back, so it's like this big long sunroof that goes all the way, which should be really nice. Probably everywhere else except for Texas. Well, not Arizona. I would not want to own one in Arizona, but it's similar. It's the same theory.
Yeah, no, I have a panorama sunroof in my SUV.
Yeah.
And I leave it closed most of the time because it's just too damn hot.
You can't close this one too, so that'll be a fun thing. I'll report back on that when it comes. And when I get it,
definitely get it tinted, basically.
Yes, yeah, just covered in black paint or tin foil. I guess actually, that actually is closer to my financial wheelhouse. But and of course, when I get it, I'm going to take pictures of it. I'm going to share it with the Content Pending family, and see if we can get some video of us driving around and kind of check it out because
cool.
There's some weird features to it. I mean, because there's only one screen in the whole thing. There's no bezel. There's no speedometer anywhere except for on the tablet.
Really? This is not even like
No.
speedometer?
It has a stick that has a blinker and the cruise control on it, and everything else is on the tablet.
Wow, that's weird.
I am excited about playing with the AC specifically because the AC, there's no visible vents anywhere.
They're hidden vents?
They're hidden vents.
Okay.
And what's really interesting, I guess, is the vents are like, they come from the dash, and they also come from like in little separations. And they're so smart that you, on the tablet, when you're looking at a tablet, you're actually just pointing where you want the air to maybe go. And it's a dual climate by standard or whatever. And so you're kind of holding this thing down and hoping, to find the area that you want. All right, good night.
That should be interesting.
Yeah. I'll take a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
And then sell it immediately at a loss.
No, it's not your... What was it, Grey Wolf? Your old...
Don't talk about Grey Wolf. I miss Grey Wolf. That was a car that I purchased. It was a 2012. Well, I had actual problems with that car.
Yeah.
It wasn't really just the buyer's remorse. But I was like, it was my first brand new car I'd purchased in decades. Or ever. Yes.
Yeah, it was your first
my
new
first
car,
brand new car. Yeah, I thought for sure it had something. I mean, it was just used cars before that, of course, because why would a 16-year-old have a brand new car? But yeah, it was the Ford Focus. It was a 2012 Ford Focus.
Yeah.
I was really excited about it, and man, it's just such a dumb thing. Like you couldn't downshift into second. Like it would not let you do it sometimes. I was like, that's the purpose of having a standard. Like I got a standard. I got this car specifically because they had a standard. But whatever. So many problems. So many different things. But we're running out of time for the first segment. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back with more show. Bye-bye.
I don't enjoy it, but I don't find it as disturbing as you guys do.
Welcome back to the show. It's a second segment.
Yeah, it is.
The show with Dylan and Travis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were way up there, buddy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I was saying in the beginning and also in the first segment, there's just so much shit going on this week. It's so just everywhere.
All right, so...
the first thing I want to focus on, if I want to talk about anything, because we're obviously going to talk about the March for Our Lives, because that's going on. I think it's still going on right now.
Is it really?
It was all day,
Yeah.
Saturday, the 24th today.
Yeah.
Because we know at least 15 people showed up in Washington. last thing I saw was around 500,000, looking at somewhere between 5 and 800,000 people
Wow.
in Washington alone.
Yeah.
And it's tens of thousands over here. I don't know what it was like in Austin exactly. But that's a big deal. But the first thing I actually want to talk about is the Cloud Act.
Yes, you dropped this bomb on me last night, and I had not heard anything about this at all.
No one has heard anything about the Cloud Act.
And this is scary AF.
Yes. So, in our budget, in a recent budget, something that was passed, something that was not going to be passed, I guess at some point we were worried, or we were actually excited that Trump was going to veto the budget because of this, was the Cloud Act. And the concept of the Cloud Act is very simple, at least on its surface. The idea is that it would allow any data on foreign ground, any foreign stored data, to be able to be accessed by a different country. So the United States would be able to, if you have, let's say, some paperwork in Sweden that would, apply to something, like they would be able to go and get it, and they haven't been able to before. Or vice versa, if Sweden wants to get information about you because you're an international jewel thief or whatever.
Man of mystery.
Man of mystery, of course. They'd be able to do that. So the major portions of it, the major function of the bill was all about that. It was allowing other foreign countries to come in and back and forth,
Which,
etc.
on paper, is reasonable.
Looked reasonable to me, and I wasn't seeing very much until one of our close friends, Brain, was worried about it. And so I actually dug into 5 or 6 different articles and saw nothing that was bad. It was just about this. I can understand the concept of being able to protect yourselves against foreign bodies. I can understand the paranoia with that, etc. Sure, but I did not see anything worse than that. And then he shared this one link, and it's a link that I'll put up on our site from EFF.org that actually has every single piece laid out in layman's terms. It's Electronic Frontier Foundation, if you're not familiar.
This is actually translating the bill from legalese to
into
real
something
life.
simple, And so it was part of, again, the $1.3 trillion government spending bill, which doesn't fully fund the wall, and it doesn't do this, and it does these things, etc.
It does give more money to the military.
It does give more money to the military, which I'm never going to say no to exactly, but etc. So, but this one article at EFF.org, this one article was the one that actually laid out all of the major points, including the worst one, the ability, it empowers the U.S. police, any U.S. police, to grab any data, regardless if it's a U.S. person's or not, no matter where it's stored.
Yeah.
So that means that your cell phone is now part. This is not like, oh, I left my cell phone in Switzerland. Oh, we need to find it to see if you're a child pornographer or whatever. This is that thing that the ACLU is sued about. This is a thing that we've been suing forever. The Supreme Court has even talked about this. Unwarranted searches on your data. Fourth Amendment, gone. Now we're going to see, obviously, we're going to see if something else strikes back. If we're going to see any kind of reaction to this, if the ACLU is going to sue again.
This thing went under the radar. And
very under the radar.
We were talking last night when you dropped this bomb on me again. My thing with it was the phrasing of the using the term U.S. police.
Yes.
What the fuck does that mean? Because we don't have U.S. police. We have state and local police.
Right.
So what does that mean?
Right.
And again, we mentioned again last night. We were talking. We got pretty drunk last night. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm rambling about that.
Yeah.
But
it's accurate.
What is a U.S. police? Is that a private contractor?
Militiamen, Minutemen? Is it people who were picked up in the very last second who were deputized in order to protect against a thing? Or
is that a contractor, military contractor who says, well, we are paid, whatever, Blackwater, Red River, whatever the fuck they are now.
Sure.
They changed names for legal reasons. But yeah, those guys, like they're contractors hired by legal authorities
Yes.
for external
Yes.
work,
Yes.
but that should not give them subpoena power over your data. They're just,
Right.
yeah, that's not how that works.
At what level is a detective still the police, or a private detective, or a private eye, et cetera? Like,
Yeah.
because they already have a surprising, like, you have to pass some tests, I think, to do it, but it also costs a little bit of money to do it, like maybe a couple $100. But once you do that, once you get through that, they could look up a lot of information. A lot of information is available for what is essentially a person who could do a little research. And I don't know if there's a gun component or not. But this actually adds this another step to this, another level.
Yeah.
And and if this doesn't matter, if you're not worried about your data, that's fine. Please also understand that you not worrying about your data is almost irrelevant, because other people's data is important to them, and also you can eventually, under the slippery slope of this, eventually take more data than necessary in order to make people complicit in things that aren't theirs. Whatever. We can see that later on when it actually happens. But it's just the concern, if anything else, that it was just not explained by anyone. Like, I was like 5 or 6 articles I was reading until I landed on this one that even said anything that was not just foreign. It's just foreign. It's no big deal. If you use cloud storage in the United States, you're fine. Ireland can come find you if you're in the United States. That's fine. Just don't go to Ireland and again, don't be an international jewel thief. And they'll fix a lot of things, you'd say to yourself. But no, now it's the U.S. police can grab any data, regardless if it's U.S. persons or not, no matter where it's stored.
Yeah.
End sentence.
That's not good.
That's not good. And like I said in the first segment, it's too late.
Yeah,
because it has passed. Yeah,
it's a law now. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a law; it's just part of the budget. Or I don't know, because what they passed was
it's a piece of legislation, and no mention of funds, salaries, or budget cuts. Legislation for privacy protections to erode privacy protections. Yeah.
Point being, it's not all about Stormy Daniels, y'all.
Right.
There's other stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah.
If only it was just about Stormy Daniels, though, because that's tittillating and it doesn't really hurt us.
Unless, well, I don't have a magazine with your face on it, so.
Yeah.
But if I did.
What was the name of the other person? Stormy Daniels, and who's a Playboy Playmate? Because that one's actually a little more interesting because they had a
McDougal.
McDougal? Man, she's beautiful.
She is. Apparently she's dating Bruce Willis. So.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Just dating.
Who's a huge Trump supporter. So.
Well, of course.
Unpack that one, yeah.
Yeah, Karen McDougal. So an interesting thing about her is that she's she's detailing that she'd been with him for 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's bazonkers to me.
No, yeah, she said in an interview a couple days ago that she was in love with him, and she says he was in love with her, and
God damn.
She was asked by the interviewer, like, did he tell you that he loved you? And she said, yes, all the time. He said, I love you all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if that actually has a lot of legs, though, because he says that about
about cheeseburgers.
Yeah, he says about cheeseburgers, yeah.
And steel workers.
Yeah.
And coal. Love that coal.
Oh, yeah.
Clean coal.
That clean-ass coal, man. Oh, yeah.
It's so clean, so great. I love it.
Coal. Coal. Yeah, so that's going on. But yeah, I wanted to get that out because I don't know how much people are going to listen to. Once we start getting into serious topics, it's easier to say, okay, well, we're not going to talk about most of this. March for Our Lives, people either know about this or they don't. And eventually, if they get to the end of the episode, we can talk about that. We can talk about the gun rights debate, and as it really is added to all of these things. But I wanted to get that out of the way. So if you're listening to this and you've already become bored, at least you learned something.
So we've not, I don't know if we've officially mentioned this, but we are trying to approach our show with a Johnny Karate methodology.
Yes. Yeah.
We learn something, we make something.
Yeah.
Try something we're afraid of.
Yes.
And what was the other one? Like, say nice to somebody even if you don't like them or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but
Johnny Karate steps. The 5 steps. 5 karate moves to success.
Yeah.
5 is to be nice to someone, yeah. Yeah.
Johnny Karate way.
Because karate's not about fighting; it's about knowing who you are. I don't give a crap, Batman. You work for me. Increase the perimeter. Yeah. Yes. So, yes. I mean that one just really upset me again more because I just couldn't find anything out. And like me, like
yeah.
For people who don't know me or don't know who I am or what I do or whatever, I'm not like I'm one of these other kinds of skeptics, like I'm the kind of like I'll drive into and try to find everything. That's why I kind of collect conspiracy theories, because I'm excited about finding that information out, even if that information is just trivial at best. And there was actually a thing, and I'll actually talk about it not on the show because I don't want to bring it to light. It's a conspiracy theory about someone specific that even if I say his name, it'll increase people's searches for it, and I don't want that to happen. I even reached out to a couple of people that I know
Really?
to ask, should I make fun of this or should I just leave it in the closet?
Wow.
And unanimously, all three of them were like, no, I just leave it in the closet because we don't want any. I don't want platform.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bazonkers, and there's no proof to it or whatever.
Yeah,
And
now I'm really curious.
yeah, but so
Tune in next time.
and what happens is I'll lead into and I'll do my research. I'll read through articles. I'll try to just extrapolate as much as I can to try to prove anything, even when it's a friend of mine who I know is usually pretty smart brain, despite the fact we call him that ironically. That he said this is a thing and I couldn't find it. And I was like, can you just help me? And he's like, here's this article. It's like, fuck, So that's the thing, and so I guess it's really, really hard right now, and who we are as a nation to try to spend that 15 minutes to try to prove the meme wrong, and that's sad.
We need more of that, though.
Yeah, we do need more of that. But that's me. That's who I am, and that's what I like to do, and that's why I'm mostly anxious and depressed.
Actually, that methodology rubbed off on me in a way that. There's a great meme, Betty White, who. It's like her favorite vodka is my favorite. Is a hobby of mine or something. I'm
Sure.
I'm quoting.
Yeah.
I'm misquoting it, but
Yeah,
vodka's my favorite
yeah.
hobby. Now, the great Betty White and I share a birthday, which I'm very proud of, and we both share a love of vodka, which is fantastic. So that meme is like, oh, okay, I know that meme.
Vodka and hot dogs.
I don't know what she said about hot dog.
Sure.
How about that? But so it's a meme, and it's funny. And for my birthday, I posted that, and I'm like, wait a second, I just can't put this out there without research, because I want to make sure Betty White said this.
Yeah.
I went and I found the clip.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. She said it on Letterman. Yeah, she really said this. But I felt compelled to prove the meme correct.
Yes. Because it's like
I didn't want to misquote Betty White, is my point.
We're lucky.
I don't want her coming at me.
No, of course not. Of course not. Because
She'll cut me.
She's a fact checker. She is mean. She will come at you.
I know. She'll take me down.
Yeah. Yeah. She'll send you like a severed head that said, I never said that. With hot dog stuff in it. Betty White revealed her secrets of long life, and they're not what she would call doctor approved. She said that nonagenarian is an advocate for enjoying life and accentuating the positive, as well as consuming vodka and hot dogs, probably in that order, is the quote. It sounds so trite, but a lot of people will pick out something to complain about rather than say, hey, that was great. It's not hard to find great stuff if you look. That's cute. Lunch is usually a hot dog and french fries or something equally devilish. Oh, I love her so much.
I do agree with that. I agree with her on that one. Like, I would never eat hot dogs unless I'd already consumed a lot of vodka, because hot dogs are disgusting. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you have that palate too. I mean, I can't even imagine what a hot dog tastes like to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a person who actually enjoys the taste of Malort.
I don't enjoy it, but I don't find it as disturbing as you guys do.
I mean, as the rest of the populace, yeah.
To me, it just tastes like floury dirt.
Oh God, it's way worse than that. I don't know what's going on.
Again, that's for a different show,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
think salmon is the least fishy of all fish.
Ugh, still, that doesn't me out. At least you don't like cane sauce, right? Right, guys? Right, Chris?
No one does.
Let's go and take another break, and we'll come back, and let's talk about, I guess, gun rights. Bye. Sure.
And I love cake.
Not inaccurate. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's segment 3.
Yeah. So you got me mid-drink.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right.
I'm not going to make that a thing.
I have to get rid of this hangover somehow.
Yep, steer into it, buddy.
That's right.
So, I'm not going to call him out by name, but we do have a friend who is a concerned citizen who loves his guns. He's a person who is worried about how gun rights are going to be handled in the near future. And he's not the only person, of course. Not the only person in the world who has this concern.
Yeah.
We have long conversations about what the ROI is on a tyrannical government takeover or whatever. That's fine. Because honestly, if you can answer that question, if you can figure out what the ROI is,
A tyrannical takeover.
the return of investment of taking all of our government, all of our federal soldiers and local and state soldiers or cops and turning their guns towards the communities you can tell me what that is. 802-359-7468. 802-359-7468. It's a phone number you can call or text. Just give me an idea. I mean, if you want to troll, that's fine too. But like, literally, just give me an idea of what you think they would get out of it. Because in my head, nothing.
All right, so your question is, what if Cheeto in Chief declared martial law not martial law, but basically declared war on the populace and said the military will confiscate all guns from all citizens or attack the citizens.
Yeah.
All 1.3 million people in the military, United States military, against 330 million people.
Yes. 100 million with guns. With one gun.
More than that.
Well, no, with one gun. And they can share because they have multiple guns, and so now you can say like 150 million people who have fucking guns.
Actually, the number I heard a couple days ago is 145 million people are registered known gun owners.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Half of America has a gun.
So 10% of that number would try to come after. No, not 10%. God, way less than that. 1.3 million people would try to come after 140 million people.
Yeah.
Without having that information. Even if they had that information. That's my other part of the argument, too, is like, even if we had a national gun registry where if you wanted to buy a gun, you had to put your name down in some kind of national registry.
Which you should.
Which I mean, I don't even want to make the argument either way because I want to try to stay as, like, not even milquetoast about it. I just want to, like, just bring up the point. If you did, what would happen?
Okay. Yeah.
If you did, it's still just so much work to try to go after every single fucking person in the world. I mean, you have to go by state. Mm-hmm. That would make sense. 1.3 million people coming into Texas would be fucking hard.
That's the entirety of all active military.
Yeah, that's military.
That's Navy, Coast Guard.
And you can make it 1.6 if you want to add local law enforcement. You know?
No, law enforcement is about 1.3 or 1.4 million. It's interesting, yeah.
I thought it was like 400,000 or 500,000 or something like that.
No, the number of active military and number of active police officers are about the same.
Okay.
Because I just did this homework a couple days ago because I was curious about something that Trump said about arming teachers, and there are more teachers than there are active military and police officers.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, there are approximately like 3.2 million teachers in America.
Okay.
According and these stats are from like I did my fact checking. It's like Labor Statistics Bureau and like I did my homework. Teachers organizations, and because teachers are all unionized, so they have big organizations and stuff that gathers the data. These are good numbers,
right?
And the same thing for military and that's public record, and police officers are all unionized too. So do your own math on that, but they're accurate. Accurate.
These are 3.2 million. If each of them had a Glock, which costs about $600, it'd be $1.9 billion
to arm every teacher.
To arm every teacher. And what did I say that 1 point? What was that number that was passed? 1.3 trillion. So they could have snuck that in there.
Yeah, it's just 1%.
It's just math.
Anyway, sure. Point being, I love that question because we live in Texas and we hear that when Obama was elected, we had the whole thing like
every liberal president.
We had that whole thing a couple of years ago where people in Bastrop were actively preparing for an Obama military takeover.
Because of the Walmart thing?
Yeah. And so like a couple hundred people went ape shit and started arming themselves and like mounting guns to their trucks like in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
Ready to fight Obama. I'm like, no. So again, what's the incentive? Why even try?
Right.
And at what cost?
The only argument that I've heard is anywhere near this, and I think I talked about this last night, it's an argument that drives me nuts, is they say, well, you're talking about gun rights, you're talking about the slippery slope of gun rights, and you're talking about people taking guns away, like the AR-15 or bump stocks. Mm-hmm. Starting with bump stocks being like, just get up the fucking bump stocks, because bump stocks are actually dangerous for people who use them too.
Yeah.
So there's an argument that it's not actually about using them against other people, it's that bump stocks, you know what a bump stock is, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar, the bump stock is basically a product that allows you to, if you attach it to a rifle or you attach it to something that of adequate size, it actually works with your shoulder and the velocity of the weapon as it's firing. So while you're holding the trigger down, it's moving your hand, so it turns it into a kind of automatic weapon. It's not as fast as actual automatic weapons, but it removes the governor of a semi-automatic and allows you to fire rapid shots.
Yeah, it uses the recoil of the weapon to basically spring back. Yeah. So
so it just keeps...
You hold your finger on the trigger, basically, and it'll just... Yeah.
And so you got to think too, is like the first time you've ever been on a dirt bike and you didn't know how acceleration works.
I fell the fuck off.
Well when you pulled back, you have to pull back on dirt bikes or motorcycles. You pull back. If you pull back and you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to stop and it starts to jerk you backwards, guess where your fucking hand goes? You go faster because you're still pulling back.
Yeah.
It's really easy to get into accidents. So, like, you're literally talking about something that's getting past a federal mandated thing to keep people from having automatic weapons, and you're trying out for the first time. Like, it's dangerous. I'm not saying that we have significant numbers to say that it's so dangerous exactly.
Although apparently the bill that Trump just passed does finally allow the CDC to study that.
Oh, really? Was that part of it?
At least I heard that was supposed to be part of it.
Okay, that's cool. Well, anyway, so so we're talking about these. We're talking about all this. They talk about the slippery slope, and then they always make a comparison to fucking Hitler because Godwin's law. They always say Hitler took the guns away from the people, and what the thing is, it's very complicated because he did and he did not. Mm-hmm. What the Third Reich did when they came into Germany and were taking over to try to control the actual population that already did not have access to guns, they gave the special classes of people, which military and then the protected races, more access to guns, and then went through a confiscation method for those who were not Jewish or Romani or whatever. So that drives me fucking crazy because it always has that conceit that every single time that any Nazi regime came through and they're just picking up Jews and throwing them in a truck or whatever, is that they didn't fight back. That breaks my fucking heart.
Well, they fought back.
Because they fought fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know? And then there were little chunks of little neighborhoods that said, no, we're not going to confiscate, and we're just immediately murdered. Yes. Mm-hmm. So that does add some credence to the concept of if they're trying to try to confiscate, they will do something. But also, that also means you won't win.
Yeah.
So that's the other part of this ROI thing is like what you're saying is like even with that huge fucking army, even if the army does a great job and they really just want to get rid of us, if the ROI is they just want to get rid of people who have guns, they'll just bomb everything.
Yeah.
I mean, people that don't understand what the actual drones, like true drones, not the quadcopters or whatever that we can buy on fucking Amazon. The true drones fly very far away from us, and they drop artillery like nuts, and you won't see it coming
with absolute precision.
You having 100 AR-15s is literally not going to help you in that situation.
Yes.
So you can be a little bit more reasonable with the concept of compromise. And I understand the fucking cake analogy, the cake equation, or whatever fucking it's called. If you're a fan of that, 802-359-7468, please explain to me.
Is that called going the distance?
No. It's actually about bucket seats. No, the cake equation is like it was presented to me in like a meme format, but it was essentially trying to make an analogy where if you're talking about gun rights, you're talking about having a cake, and so you have this whole cake, and then someone comes in and says, "Hey, you need to make a compromise with me because I don't like your gun rights. Well, I want to help you compromise with me, so give me half of your cake." Already, I have this problem. One, cake is gun rights do not mean that you can't eat cake. You know, that is already kind of ludicrous because the analogy doesn't fit up perfectly because that's actually being able to eat food versus being able to misunderstand the Second Amendment because you misunderstand the Second Amendment if it's whatever. That's one thing. Second is the first time someone tries to compromise with you and they take half, like, why is it half of the entire analogy instead of half of what you want from it because there's more to the argument? Whatever. If you can explain it to me better than I'm explaining it right now, please, 802-359-7468.
If someone says, "Give me half your cake and I have a gun," the answer is no, because I have a fucking gun.
Sure.
And I love cake.
Not inaccurate. But yeah. Yes. Oh, this is actually, this is aggressive for far so much. I mean, like, but yeah, whatever. Like, again, it's just the idea of the ROI. It just, explain to me what you think you'd actually get out of it. Because the Second Amendment also does not protect your ability. Cake, actually, it's a funny segue because it does not protect your ability to be able to buy them anywhere you want.
Yeah.
But it also, we have laws that keep people keep businesses from keeping you from buying anything else that they want to sell you.
Yeah.
Because the parallel that happens when it comes to the gun rights thing, specifically when it comes to being able to sell, let's say, gun stocks at Dick's or AR-15s, using a Citigroup account or whatever, because or being able to sell them on your YouTube channel. These are all three companies that have stopped procedure. They had a policy that enacted that said, if you were selling these things, we're not going to sell them. If you're selling them, we're not going to accept your money, and et cetera. They're trying to do the best they can. And there's a lot of freak out, especially about the YouTube thing, or YouTube channels going down. just going down. It's like, oh, people who are shooting guns, like, oh,
Yeah,
YouTube's coming for guns.
Demonetizing everybody who does gun reviews and everything.
But it wasn't gun reviews.
It wasn't gun reviews.
They don't care about gun reviews. That's the thing.
Okay, what was it then?
It's okay if you fire guns. It's okay if you fire. It's okay you make a fucking bottle rocket out of the moon and shoot it into the sun or whatever. They don't care. Don't teach people how to do it. And if you're more, or if any of your links lead to a company that sells these things that they don't approve,
so that's what YouTube is cutting off.
That's what YouTube is cutting off, and that I have a huge contention with because other reasons. But the thing they parallel that to is the gay couple that tried to buy a cake. And they misunderstand the idea is that if the baker only makes baked goods and they say, no, you can't have any of our baked goods, then that's discrimination.
Yeah.
If you go to a Dick's and you say, I'd like to buy a tent and an AR-15, and they say you can only get the tent, that's not discrimination.
No.
They just don't want to sell that thing anymore.
Yes.
Now, I understand how complicated this is to understand, but that's the difference. That's the reason why that doesn't work.
It's not complicated at all.
Well, I mean, it's complicated enough to say, like, yeah, I understand where they're going through with the rights, but also businesses do not have to. They don't have to do...
Businesses don't have to sell you anything.
They don't have to sell you anything.
and businesses have all the rights in the world to sell the products they feel best reflect their ability to sell those products to the customers they want to reach.
Yeah.
And if they feel guns are not in our wheelhouse, don't sell guns.
Don't sell guns. And then
that's not
you can find
in any way
guns
infringing
anywhere
upon
else.
Second Amendment rights.
Right.
In the same way that by day I sell software. I don't sell guns. You know why? Because that's not what I do.
Right. Right.
I'm not infringing on your rights.
Pretty simple.
I just don't sell guns.
Now, of course, if you're any of these people who are really worried about the YouTube channels getting locked down for people who are showing you how to print weapons, there are actual ones where they have 3D printers that will show you these ways to print weapons, which, that's interesting. It's interesting as shit.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more bummed about the interesting ways people are showing people how to make other like weapons or bombs or whatever. Like, I think it's fascinating. But eventually, of course, it has to be, okay, it's not safe. But if you are one of these people who was worried about this, or if you've seen one of your favorite channels disappear, unmonetized, or unpublished on YouTube.
Tell us about it.
They're on, they're on Pornhub. A lot of them are moving over to Pornhub.
I did see that, yeah. Which actually, in a weird, perverse way, no pun intended, but it makes sense that, porn and guns kind of make sense.
Sure. Yeah.
And because people we know...
Both extensions of penises.
Well, yeah, people that we know who are friends of ours, they have a similar love affair with guns as they do with porn.
Sure.
Like they will fight to death. Like, no, I need my gun.
Yeah.
Why? Because I need it.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's no different than, yeah.
I think,
I don't know. I'm going somewhere with that, but we're out of time.
Yeah, we'll get that and we'll come back with more show. Bye-bye. Big poofy pirate, French pirate kind of thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yeah, I am not drinking this time because my glass is empty.
Oh, shit. Do you want to wait?
No, we're already in it.
Yeah, we're in it.
We're in it to win it, man.
So as the last segment, we have it's a round-out segment. We kind of covered everything that I talked about at the very beginning. Of course,
we're down to the march.
We are living in a really crazy nutso world where literally Joe Biden, an ex-vice president, and our current president got into a small slap fight thing on Twitter. And I will say again, for the record, like I understand rich kids from New York still fight pretty hard.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden's from Vermont, right? I don't know if the mean streets are Vermont or anything.
But he's a commuter.
Yeah. Well, he's a commuter. Sure.
I'm just saying.
Sure.
He's had to fend himself off, in a few trains once in a while over the year.
Right. No, I don't know. My money's on Biden for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also hard because The Onion has put that concept of Joe Biden in his Mustang or his
Trans Am or whatever.
Trans Am or whatever. So
one of my favorite fake Photoshops ever.
Oh yeah.
I even fell for it when I first saw it.
Was it like on the White House lawn, like and he's like washing it or whatever?
Yeah. But it was just weird enough. Like, yeah, you know what? That actually makes sense.
Yeah. Fighting dirty.
Well, you think about it. Joe Biden is how old is he? 74 or something, I guess.
He is a year younger than Trump.
Oh, so he's 70.
I think
70, 71.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 71. So when Smoking the Bandit came out, he would have been like in his late 30s.
No, he's 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do the math. It's Smoking the Bandit was 77.
Donald Trump is 70. Oh, he's 71. Oh, okay. Wow, he's that
older
much,
than Trump.
Yeah, he's 4 years older than Trump. That's crazy.
Yeah, but still. Go back 40 years, Biden would have been 30 something.
Yeah,
35.
Yeah.
Smokey the Bandit comes out, and I can see him going, you know what? I'll get myself a Trans Am. And because we know of his thrifty habits, he still has it. He washes it every day. It totally made sense to me when I saw that.
Oh, I was thinking of Bernie Sanders is only a year older than Joe Biden. Yeah. And of course, one of them holds themselves a little like, not holds themselves, I'd say, I shouldn't say it like that. I shouldn't be too mean, but one of them looks like they're 76, and the other one does not look like they're 76.
I'm pretty sure Uncle Joe still is like 50 push-ups a day kind of.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
He looks like a fit. He looks all right.
Yeah, he looks all right. He's handsome.
He could definitely take Trump
for sure.
Yeah, even though Trump is like 100 pounds on him.
Yeah. Let's see how tall they are, because that's a big deal too.
Well, Trump is anywhere between 6'1" and 6'4", depending on what he says that day.
Yeah,
same as his wealth.
Yeah. Joe Biden is 6 foot. 6'3" is what they have officially for Trump. Because so Trump does have.
He has the reach, and he has the weight.
Or maybe he doesn't have the reach. It's also impossible to tell. Some of that height might be fat.
That's actually so. Of all the things that we can make fun about Trump, I think the one that I kind of gravitate most, for whatever reason, a dude who's a bazillionaire, either on paper or in reality, he has enough money to own his own plane, so he has to have at least some amount of money.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not 10 billion billionaire. Maybe he's only a 1 billion billionaire. I don't know.
Sure.
Don't care.
Sure.
He has enough money.
Sure.
Point being, he has enough money to afford a suit that fits. Why doesn't he have a suit that fits?
I feel like that's part. I think
that's part of his jam. See, Tammy brings. I don't have to ask. Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy. I'm fine for now. Yeah. So
sloppy ties. That's fine. But like the suits themselves are just so baggy and stupid. It's like. Is it because it's a Trump suit from Macy's or what?
Right. I was trying to find the quote for it because I think it's relevant specifically. I didn't know they actually made a movie off of it, but whatever. But it's a book I talked about before. It's a Terry Pratchett book called Going Postal. And the concept of the book is a low-time con man gets caught and he's going to be put to death for his crimes. But at the last second, he is offered the option to stay in this town and fix their post service.
Okay.
It's an interesting thing. It's very funny. It's a funny book or whatever. And he's just a simple con man or whatever. Very, very, very interesting character. But at some point, he finds out that the people who actually have, and this is like, it's Terry Pratchett, so it's like in the fantasy world, like this universe has some like orcs and stuff walking around. Like actually his PO is a golem, and which is wonderful. And the golem will always literally just find him. It'll always just walk straight to him. He's like a curse to him, so he can't run away.
That's how golems work.
Yeah, yeah. So he's a simple guy. He's doing this simple thing, and he finds out that a version of the post office, actually in this fantasy world, the thing that's fancier is a system of kind of like Morse code that's used like this kind of wizardry that bounces these things behind these towers, like from distance to distance. So sending a post from one town to town takes a lot longer than these towers can just beam back and forth. The guy who runs it is equally just as scary as he should be, but also is kind of a laughingstock. And you find out, you find well, no. And here's the thing: is you find out the first time he meets the guy, he doesn't know what to think. He just knows that that people revere him, and that he gets his job done. He gets deals. He's best at making deals. And when he first sees him, he realizes why he can always make a deal. And it's because when he sees him, he's dressed like a fucking pirate in a world that has no pirates. He's a businessman wearing a pirate and a fake parrot and. Big poofy pirate, French pirate kind of thing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. That's great.
And he realizes when he sees him, the reason why he does that is because everyone will look at him as a mark, and he'll always win, because they will never give their best to a guy that looks that stupid.
There you go.
That's the reason why. And oversized suits and stuff, whatever. It's the tie.
Yeah.
It's the big red tie that's 7 fucking feet longer than he is. I think that is, and like, because I can't remember who I was talking to, but we got a new appointee, John Bolton.
Let's not even start with that.
I won't start with him, but I was talking to someone who was
mustache.
upset with his mustache because it is not symmetrical, and I guess I keep thinking about these things, these design flaws that are designed to look like flaws to make you think,
to throw you off.
Yeah, to throw you off.
But so the tie is not just a penis metaphor.
I think the tie. Well, I think it can be two things. But I think that specifically, just like you'd look at him and maybe he does have some chops.
That's really curious. I know Trump is a weird character just in general for all history to now have to study.
Yes.
But yeah, is he completely ignorant? Probably not.
No.
Is he that savvy? I don't think so either. But he does things like that maybe he whether it's
twist my mind.
intuition or his own growing up, he's picked up on just enough little tricks.
Mm-hmm.
He, in my mind, I don't think he knows he's doing them intentionally. I think he just knows that if I do this thing, it's the thing.
Muscle memory. Dirtbag muscle memory, yeah.
Dirtbag memory, yeah. So, which is, again, right now, the biggest, I mentioned this before, either on other shows or face-to-face, I don't recall, whatever, I'm drinking again. Hey, my hangover's gone. All right.
Here I go drinking again.
The problem I have with how historic everything is happening, let me rephrase. Right now we're living through history.
Yes.
And the problem is we're living through history.
Right.
I want to know what happens at the end.
Right. I want to know what the biopics look like.
In 20 years, 30 years, it's going to be fascinating to go back and watch the there will be an Oscar-nominated movie about the Trump presidency.
Yes.
In 30 years.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to live through I don't want to live through it right now. It's really shitty. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with being at a point in time when things are changing, and it hurts. I don't want it anymore.
If you don't, if you know, again, if you're listening to this and you don't agree with her, we actually do want you to reach out if you want to disagree with us, because it's important you understand that we want to have conversations, we want to have discussions.
Oh yeah,
but it's also more important, I think, that you understand that nothing that Trump is doing will affect either myself or Dylan.
That's true.
Directly, we do not have any direct. Actually, we'll probably.
I'm a middle-aged white man. I can only feel upward.
Right. And I actually will probably get some benefits from some of the tax cuts.
Oh, I've gotten $250 extra in my paycheck every 2 weeks.
Well, see, I mean, so that's there. But also at the same time, like, we're still concerned about these things because they do affect our family. And we consider the family of humans that are on the planet. Like, consider that.
I appreciate the kids.
Don't just go run yelling at us because you don't like it that kids are marching because they don't want guns in their schools.
I will fight you over those kids.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them.
We want transgender kids to be able to shit wherever they want. We want the kids. We want our youths. You know, like there's more millennials now than there are actual registered boomers.
Yeah,
like who can vote.
Yeah,
you know, and that I think that actually speaks more volumes than anything else, and that should be something that we should be banging down the doors. And also,
they're trying.
And here's another question for you: if you don't agree with our policies or politics, or whatever, please explain to me why, when a federal court knocks down the concept of gerrymandering, why it's okay to try to vote those judges out because you don't like that they are keeping you from being fucking scumbags. Please explain it to me. Anyway, I think that's all I had. Anything you wanted to share? Anything else that we missed this week?
I've said it many, many times. I could not be more proud of the kids from Parkland.
Yes.
Again, having lived in that community years and years ago, I know what those kids are capable of, and we're seeing it every goddamn day.
Yeah.
And I could not be more proud.
There was a tweet earlier. There was like, what if the thoughts and prayers? What if these children are literally the responses of thoughts and prayers? You know, if that's all you're going to giving is like, and God's finally like, all right, well, here's a bunch of fucking teens who are upset about this.
Yeah, what was that whole thing? The dude drowning in the ocean, and God sends the 3 boats, and he dies. He's like, I sent you 3 fucking boats. What do you want?
Yeah. He kept turning away these gifts of men because he knew that God would
God will
save
me. He's like, I sent you a cruise ship.
Yeah, with titties on it.
There were titties and alcohol. Why did you say no?
The aristocrats. I honestly, too, like, speaking about biopics, if there is going to be a movie, an award-winning movie about this,
there will be.
The Trump administration, it should be called The Aristocrats. It should be like exclamation point at the end.
I said that on our old show. I was really hoping that at the inauguration, Trump would just stand up at the swearing ceremony and just go, the aristocrats.
Right.
And that would have been brilliant.
No, apparently, no, and that's the problem with that joke, is that it never has to end.
Oh, shit. Again, living through history.
Yeah. Anyway, well, Dylan, thanks for helping me run the show today.
Yeah.
I think I had a pretty good time. I want you to, if you are interested in the show, I'd like to go check out everything that we do. Go to contentpenny.com for updates, for episodes, and maybe some other things as new content was produced. I'm going to wait till the train to stop, actually. That train's just so insistent upon itself.
I still love people who live in the District Commons. This place is great. There's a train.
Yeah, yeah. She was about to sob, according to Michelle. Yeah, so if you like the show, you want to know more about the show, please go to contentpending.com. It's contentpending.com for updates and other things that we actually produce there. You can go to facebook.com/contentpending or facebook.com/contentpending this show, all one word for just right now until we get those pages merged because Facebook is difficult to work with.
Unless you're Cambridge Analytica.
Right. You can go to Twitter. You can go to Content Pending at Content Pending on Twitter because I've updated that. So that's going to be all of the stuff that was Drunkcast before and now the Content Pending stuff.
Nice.
Thank God that was easy to do. If we're worried about merging or whatever. Instagram, we're still contentpending.com. It's all one word, DOTCOM at the end for updates there. But yeah, go check out all those things. You can questions at contentpending.com or you can 802-359-7468 if you have a question or if you have a thing. Again, that's a text message or voicemail. You can literally, it's a real phone number. You can do either of those things. It's 802-359-SHOT if you need. And
we would love to hear from you.
Love to hear from you.
Especially if you don't agree with us.
Yeah,
honestly.
Even more because, like I said, like I like to feed off of this energy of trying to, I challenge myself. I want to challenge myself. And we're in a bubble, like everyone who's on the show, especially because we'll have comedians on and we'll have the comedians from our South by show come on in the near future. But we're all just liberal, and it's just nice to get a different thing. So, if you like that, if you want more of that kind of content, please do it. And also tell your friends, go to iTunes, go to Google Play, go to any place you can get podcasts. You can just download the whole thing. Just do all of it. And we're also youtube.com/content. Anyway, I'm Travis. I love you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.